Hello, I'm Janna, and welcome back to the Crafty Corner. This week over at the Funky Junky Inspiration Avenue, we are creating to the theme of hearts and flowers. Valentine's Day is just around the corner, so this seemed like a great time to dive into a Valentine's Day project. Here I'm going to be featuring some die sets from the latest Tim Holtz Sizzix from the Vault collection. We're going to have fun creating a pillow box and a card. If you'd like to see exactly which supplies I'm going to be using, go ahead and pause here. All right, let's head over to the Crafty Corner. Since today our theme is hearts and flowers, we're going to be doing a Valentine's Day themed project. And we're going to be featuring more of the Tim Holtz Sizzix dies from the Vault. Today we have got the Vault pillow box and bag die set. We're going to be featuring the pillow box today. And then over here we also have Hippity Hop. But we are not featuring the bunnies. It is a little bit too early for Easter. Instead, we're going to be pulling in that beautiful little butterfly. So let's go ahead and start creating. We are going to focus on the pillow box first, and after we're going to have some fun creating a Valentine's Day themed card as well. And that will feature the floral part of this week's Funky Junky Inspiration Avenue theme. Okay, so I've already die cut the pillow box pieces, and they look like this, pretty simple. We've got some scored lines, and we've obviously got the die cut. So with this, we just do a little crease around the edges for the top part of the box, and I'll give it a very firm crease for the side portion that's going to help us assemble it. And I'll just do a gentle crease over here again for the flaps. So it's a two-part box. This would be the first side, and then over here I have the second side. But on the second side, I decided to cut out a window. That way we can see what's inside the box, because inside the box we're going to be adding a tasty treat. So again, I'm just working my way around, giving that crease line a little bit of a crease, not doing a full fold here. Just working on that as gently as we can. There we go. Pretty good. And let's give this flap a full crease. Before we glue our box together, I do want to add the window element. So for the window, I have a little scrap of plastic set aside, and we're going to be using that to cover our window. But first, let's go ahead and add some glue, and then we can stick down our plastic piece. So we're just running the glue around the outside. We don't need a whole lot, but just enough so that we have enough for our plastic to stick to. Now, the plastic is just from some other packaging that I happen to have, and it had a fairly large chunk of clear plastic on it. So I thought that'd be a good way to reuse that. Okay, let's just go ahead, stick that down. I'm just gonna lightly tap that. Oh, too far. There we go. So that should be pretty good, and that'll take a moment or two to dry, but that's okay. While that dries, we can glue the rest of the box together. So for the rest of the box, I'm going to be using some hot glue. Typically, not a fan of hot glue, but in this case, it's going to set quick and it's going to be a strong stick. Okay, so Surebonder hot glue. We'll just put that on here. I'm just going to kind of scribble it down. I don't want to go too heavy because I don't want glue ooze on the outside of this. All right, that should be good. Got that. We'll just line this up. There we go. It's looking pretty good. Okay, I'm just going to push that down, make sure that everything's sticking nicely. All right, not too bad. Now, before we glue the other bit together, I wanted to add a little bit of decoration. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to roughly mark out approximately where everything is on here with a pencil, and then I'm just going to cut this down, and then we'll have a lovely square piece to add some texture and decoration to the box. Okay, so right there and here. Perfect. All right, I'm just going to pull in the tiny tonic trimmer. Good. And we'll do the same thing over here. Good. So let's just double check if this fits. A little too wide. That's okay. Just chop off a little bit more. Let's see here. Still just a little bit too much. That's okay. Okay. There we go. Definitely happy with that. So that's going to become one of the panels. Now I'm going to cut a second panel the exact same size as this. Let's see. I'm just going to line that up on here, and we'll use that as a rough measurement. Okay, that should be good. Bring that over a little bit. Perfect. And we'll just turn this and do the same thing on this side. All right. Okay. So for the other piece, which is going to be going here, I want to die cut that window. So I'm just going to take a piece from that die set. There's a frame piece here. And we'll just take this over to the Sizzix switch, and I will die cut this, and then we'll have a nice frame to go around here. All right, be back in just a moment. Okay, here is our die cut piece. Let's go ahead, flip this back over, take some collage medium, and I'll just scribble that right on here to this frame. Good. And let's just carefully place this down. There we go. Oh, I like that. That works out pretty well. Okay. So now let's go ahead and add some glue to our other piece. Good. Now I'm going to stick this down, and we're going to let it dry before we come back and finish off the pillow box. But let's get this stuck over here. Ooh, that's going to be really pretty. Okay, so this is going to need a little bit of time to dry, and in the meantime we can start on our card. So I'm just going to place this off to the side, and let's get our pieces for the card. Okay, for the card, we're going to be using distressed watercolor cardstock, and I'm going to be putting the smooth side up. We're going to have a very simple background with just a minimal bit of color. We're going to be using the new Scorched Timber and a dash of Kitsch Flamingo Distress Oxide. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to just spritz our paper. And let's put down the Scorched Timber first. I want just, yeah, maybe just a, ooh, okay, that should be enough. Scorched Timber is a pretty strong color. All right, good. Got what I want here. And now just a little bit of the Kitsch Flamingo. Okay, I do want this to get some drips going. So we've got to add some water to that. There we go. Let's turn it, drip the other way. Okay. Definitely liking that. All right, so the idea was to go for a very, very simple background. The only other things that I'm going to do will be to dry this off and then add some drip drops of water. So we'll be back in just a moment after we have this nice and dry. Here is the background. We've got some drips and we've got some movement with the distress inks. Now I do want to go in with some Scorched Timber distress ink, and I want to add a bit more intensity to the corners. So I'm just going to grab the Scorched Timber distress ink pad. There we go. Got an ink blender. For this, I definitely want a full-size blender since I'm doing the edges of a card. And we're just going to go around the edge, just doing a little flicking movement to darken up the card edges. Pretty good. Good. Next, I'm going to be doing a bit of stamping, and we're going to be pulling in an older stamp set. This is Watercolor CMS 217. I'm picking this one because it's got some lovely floral pieces that I want to turn into a floral wreath. So I'm going to take that itty bitty teeny flower stamp, and we're going to be stamping some flowers. But I'm going to stamp them in the shape of a heart wreath. So I'm just going to quickly draw myself a little outline for a heart. There we go. Not bad. And to stamp with, we're going to be using Distress Oxide, Kitsch Flamingo, Squeezed Lemonade, and Broken China. I'm going to start with my lightest color first, which would be the Squeezed Lemonade. We'll just get some ink on that. And we'll just work our way around this heart, adding these little flower stamps. So let's go ahead and put this on fast forward while we create our floral wreath heart. Okay, now we have the floral wreath completed. Next, I want to create a background that we're going to die cut some letters out of. And we're going to be pulling in some Distress Mixed Media. And we're going to be using a combination of Scorched Timber and some embossing powder. And we're going to be using the Fine Detail Gold Ranger embossing powder. So we are just going to spritz. Then we're going to add a fairly generous helping of Scorched Timber. Good. Let's move that around a little bit more. All right. And now I'm going to start drying this off. Partway through drying this off, I am going to come back and we're going to sprinkle in some embossing powder. So I've already partially dried this. Now we're going to quickly wipe up the work area. There we go. And I'm going to add more water to this. So now our background has all sorts of water on it. I'm going to pull in a piece of scrap paper. And next we're going to drip and splatter the embossing powder over the top because I want to get kind of an eroded metallic but without the paint technique because I want this to be a little bit more textured. Okay, so pretty good, but I've got a little bit too much of the embossing powder in places, so I'm going to try to flick some of that off the back. Better. Okay, pretty good. I think I'll have to just go with a brush and take a little bit off here and there. Okay. Just try to be pretty random with this. As long as it doesn't dry completely gold, it's going to be good. All right, I think that's pretty good. I'm just gonna set that down for a moment. Let's take the leftover embossing powder and put it back into the jar. Good. And I'll just quickly clean the surface again. Put the lid back on. Okay, so this time we're going to put things on fast forward and let's watch as we emboss the embossing powder. Now this is pretty neat because we're not using an adhesive to get the powder to stick to the mixed media cardstock. All we have on here is water, and the water is going to evaporate on us. So let's go ahead and see how this does. So here we go. We've embossed and we have spritzed with scorched timber. Now I do want to add a little bit more grunge with a dash of distressed walnut stain crayon. I'm just going to scribble over the top in a few select areas. Ooh, that'll work. Okay. And I just want a little water off to the side to get that crayon to move more smoothly. There we go. Cool. Now it's getting even more grungy, which is just what I was going for. Okay. Neat. So I've now got this wonderfully golden and grungy background. What we're going to do right now is die cut with a few of the letters from Hippity Hop. So I'm just going to pull out the letters for Love You, and that will be perfect for our sentiment. All right, let me just grab these letters and I'll be back as soon as we have die cut them. Okay, we've got our die cut letters, so let's bring back our card front and we're going to add our die cut sentiment. So all we're going to do is place the letters down. They're already sticky backed, so that makes things much easier. And I decided to do a bit of an abbreviation. I'm reminded of all sorts of abbreviations this time of year, especially with the conversation hearts being around. There. You know what? I think I kind of want that E. Or is it L-U-V? Yeah. That. I'm going to need an extra U. Okay, that's fine. Back in a moment. Okay, there we go. Decided to improvise and actually ended up just cutting the top off the O, but that works. Okay, so finishing touches for the card. I have got some velvet trim off to the side, and we've got the ATG tape. I'm going to run some of that along the back of the velvet trim. There we go. Just taking that slow, making sure that it ends up on the trim. Great. And let's just take that. I can place that right here. Okay. And the last thing that I need to do for this card will be to add some butterflies. And these are also from Bunny Hop. And look at these adorable butterflies. They're so small and beautiful. Let's see. I'm just going to figure out some placement. Let's see. Not sure. Do I just want them kind of all... Ooh, like that. There we go. I think I'm happy. All right, and these two already have double-sided sticky tape, so just peel and stick. It makes things so much easier when you can turn die cuts into stickers. I personally love double-sided tape, but there's always other ways to get stickers like this. Okay. One more. I'll put that one here. Just like them kind of traveling up the side of the card. I want to move this one a little bit if I can. Yep. Okay. Oh, you know what? Let's add one more butterfly. Why not? I want one right here too. Good. All right. Happy with that. So now we're going to turn our attention back to the pillow box. All right, let's set this aside and bring back the pillow box. So that is all nice and dry. Can now crease that back. And let's get the hot glue back and we can put that last flap down. So I'm just going to take the glue, carefully scribble that on, trying to avoid the glue ooze. Good. Let's set that down and I'm going to tuck that down as much as we can and press that together. Okay. Good. Now, that should be pretty well stuck. Make sure that we can still open the box. Yep. So I'm just squeezing it like this. It kind of opens up and we'll put the flaps down. Good. So since this is Valentine's, I decided that I wanted to fill the pillow box with some Valentine's Day treats. And I've got some Dove milk chocolate hearts in here. So I'm curious how many it will take to even fill this up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I can do 8. Ooh, maybe 9. Perfect. And then we'll just tuck that down like that. Okay, I think I'll switch that. There we go. That way it looks smoother on the ends. There we go. So this will be filled with 9 hearts from the Dove candies. That is awesome. That's a very nice treat. Okay. So set these aside. And that would be the pillow box. Cool. Now, to tie it all together, I'm going to add a little purple butterfly. Just stick that right here. Excellent. All right, and let's bring back our completed card. There we go. We now have a complete set. We have a cute little pillow box Valentine's Day gift, and we have a lovely stamped card. Thank you so much for joining me here today at the Crafty Corner for this week's Bunky Junky Inspiration Avenue theme of hearts and flowers. So today we have created a pillow box from the die set from the vault, and I love it. This has been an absolute favorite die set that I wanted to get my hands on for so long, and I'm absolutely thrilled that I'm now able to create with it. It is going to be so much fun for many different holidays. And in addition to the pillow box die from the vault, we also used Hippity Hop, where we were able to grab these beautiful little butterflies and these fun letters to create a Valentine's Day themed card, where we have stamped a lovely floral wreath and then added the butterflies as little accents with a dash of classic velvet trim. Thank you so much for joining me here today at the Crafty Corner for some Valentine's Day fun. And until next time, happy crafting.